Between Fantastic Four and Superman from a few weeks ago, it made me realize that I don't actually have superhero fatigue. I just hate seeing bad superhero movies. And this was a great film. With the recent Captain America movie that I feel like got hated on way too much, I also like Thunderbolts, and now with this, I can't believe it, but the MCU, at least when it comes to their movies, might be back on the right track, and we are talking spoilers, so if you have not seen this movie yet, come back later. Fantastic Four First Steps is the latest movie in the MCU and moves us towards the next Avengers movie, as this is the start of Phase 6. As always, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. As characters, I have never cared about the Fantastic Four. I mean, I liked Johnny Storm when I was a kid. He always seemed pretty cool. Sue Storm was always boring to me, and if she was not played by Jessica Alba, God bless that woman, but if she was not played by Jessica Alba, I wouldn't really care about her. The Thing, Reed Richards, don't really care. So years ago when Marvel announced their plans for the future MCU films, I wasn't really excited for this, but once they started to announce the cast for this movie, they got my attention. Let's just get straight to it. I thought the cast of this movie across the board was incredible. Everyone delivered. Your wife's favorite work husband, aka Mr. Hansy, aka Pedro Pascal himself, is one of the best actors in Hollywood right now. And if my memory is correct, I feel like he has 3 movies in the theater at this point, which is crazy. And I know online it was like a big deal about who's gonna play Reed Richards, who's gonna play Reed Richards. There was a lot of fan casts going on. As a guy that never really cared for Reed Richards, I thought Pedro Pascal gave a great performance. I mean, Pedro just seemed like he was acting like Pedro, and I like Pedro. He was cool with me. Vanessa Kirby fine-ass plays Sue Storm, and I cannot believe it, but at least for me, she actually made Sue Storm cool in this movie. Like, I was excited to see Vanessa in this as soon as it was announced that she was cast. Like, she was more than just a pretty face in this movie. Like, she actually brought a lot of heart to this film. Eben Moss-Backrack, aka Cousin, plays Ben, or The Thing, and I thought, again, he was great in this movie. I do feel like the design I had to get used to it. Like, I didn't really like the design when I first saw the trailer, but it didn't bother me in this movie. I do think the beard was kind of stupid. I'm assuming that's from the comics or something like that, but that creative decision, that was kind of stupid to me. But Eben is such a great actor. If you have not seen The Bear, I highly recommend you go watching him in that. He is incredible. I wanted more of him in this film, but we'll talk about that in a second. Joseph Quinn played Johnny Storm, and I can admit when I'm wrong. I was completely wrong about him. I thought he was going to be the weakest link in this movie. I just couldn't see him as Johnny Storm for some reason. But after watching this film, he might have been my favorite character in this movie. And again, across the board, everyone killed it. These characters that I usually do not care about, I actually wanted more of them. It's a lot to like about this movie, and one of my favorite things is the look and style of this film. The kind of 50s or 60s futuristic setting that this movie took place in, I thought was beautiful. Like, the costume designs for the Fantastic Four looked great. The world was beautiful. The technology was interesting. The outfits from the side characters looked great. Like, this did not feel like an MCU movie, and I'm saying that in a good way. It felt fresh. They also managed to have the perfect tone for this movie, and they were able to avoid the thing that I hate the most about modern Disney movies, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars. In so many of their films, they'll have a serious moment and then a stupid joke. We don't really see that here. We have so many intense moments in this film, and they just let it breathe. They have intense moments, and then we don't get a random fart joke, or we don't get somebody just saying something stupid for laugh purposes. Coming into this, I was kind of unsure how I felt about Silver Surfer being a woman, but after watching this movie, I don't really care. Like, I don't read comics, so I was just always used to Silver Surfer being a guy. But it wasn't one of those things that I was going to cry about or make a big deal about it on the internet. Like, some people are calling this woke for some reason. Like, people to me on that side of the internet are really weird. Like, for me, I was sitting in a movie theater like, damn, do I want to smash the Silver Surfer? And then I know somewhere on the internet is some dudes that's like, oh my God, I gotta watch a woman. Where are the dudes? So I like Julie Garner's performance in this movie. I thought she was a pretty cool Silver Surfer. And then Ralph Ineson, I think that's how you say his name. He plays Galactus. Some people are just blessed with amazing voices. Like, I'm gonna cook his character in a second. I ain't like some things with the character, but himself, he was perfect for this role. You could feel the chemistry with this cast, and they had some moments in this movie that were absolutely epic. Like, it was a couple of times where I was tempted to lean forward in my seat because I felt like I really needed to lock in. Interstellar is one of my favorite movies of all time, and the entire space sequence in this movie when they went off to see Galactus, incredible. Especially watching the Silver Surfer and she's like surfing on the dust clouds or whatever that's called. I don't know anything about space, but they're trying to fast travel. Sue is in the middle of giving birth during this scene. And then when Sue yelled at Johnny, "Johnny, kill her. She's trying to kill your nephew." That gave me big Star Wars Sith vibes. It was a lot going on in this scene. Easily one of the best scenes in this movie. I also really love the scene where Johnny was chasing the Silver Surfer and he was popping the messages up on all the monitors around the city. Even though you have to really turn your brain off, because how in the hell did Johnny figure out that language? Turn your brain off. This is a comic book movie. But anyway, I thought that was a great scene. Like, I love seeing the Silver Surfer kind of questioning her own morality and all the stuff that she was doing with her backstory and her planet getting spared. I thought that was a nice touch. So I love the entire space sequence when they were dealing with the black hole. But my other favorite scene in this movie was when they got back to Earth and everybody was so excited. Hey, you defeated Galactus. Hey, you guys did it. We love you guys. And all of them kind of looking like, yeah, you know, and then Johnny trying to say, you know, not yet, not yet. And that scene where they have that press conference and Reed is trying to figure out the answers. He doesn't want to lie to the people. That was such an intense scene. And then when the guy ultimately asked him, "Are we safe?" and he says, "I don't know." If I was watching that at home on TV, I would be like, we are cooked. God, I love comic book movies because you see the most ridiculous things in these and you just kind of accept them because you know what the world is. Like the thought of them building machines around the planet so they can teleport Earth somewhere else was absolutely hilarious to me. Like it kind of reminded me of Patrick on SpongeBob when he was like, why don't we just push Bikini Bottom somewhere else? But this was a great movie. I actually liked it more on the drive home when I had a chance to actually process everything that I saw. And just like I felt with Superman a few weeks ago, this movie just felt fresh and it felt different. And I really like that. But this movie isn't perfect. I do have some complaints, even though it might be a little bit of nitpicking. I don't usually say this about movies, but this is one of those times where I feel like this movie would have benefited by actually having a longer runtime. Like I think this movie was like an hour, 50 minutes or something like that. Like I wanted more Silver Surfer and I wanted more time with Galactus. And like I could be wrong, but I feel like Silver Surfer at the end of the movie, she kind of just disappeared. Like I feel like it would have been cool to see like her struggling with her own morality. She's struggling like, should I help them? Should I be loyal? Blah, blah, blah. But if my memory is correct, I feel like she didn't really do anything at the end of the movie because Galactus came to the planet. I remember him sniffing the trees. He was doing this thing, boom, boom, boom. He got the baby. And then they ultimately had their fight. Sue Storm did her thing. And then Johnny was about to sacrifice himself. But then here comes the Silver Surfer out of nowhere. I did go to the bar before I saw this movie, so maybe my memory is just bad, but I don't feel like she really did anything. But I'm doing this review the day after, so again, maybe I'm forgetting. But let's talk about Galactus because I was really looking forward to seeing him in this movie because I was really curious how they were going to handle his character. And now Galactus, he's supposed to be this planet eater, destroyer of worlds. He's this big, powerful figure. And for him to go out that way, I don't know how I feel. Like to me, it was kind of weak in my opinion. Like I get it, you know, mother's rage. You know, I'm not trying to play Sue Storm. I didn't even know Sue Storm could do that. But it's just, it kind of reminded me of Kang when he got defeated by Ant-Man. I was like, that was kind of weak for Kang to lose that way. I felt the same way about this, but it was a nice touch because Sue Storm was, she went past her limits. You know, she ended up dying and stuff like that. And like I said, I get it, the whole mother's rage thing like that. But just to sit back and watch Scarlet Witch, I mean Sue Storm. Am I the only one that thought she looked like Scarlet Witch there? I think the director of this movie also directed WandaVision. That was my first thought. I was like, damn, she looked like Wanda. But I just don't know how I feel about Galactus. I'm sure he's going to be back, obviously, but I just don't know how I feel about Galactus going out like that. There was also a couple of points in this movie where it just felt like the story was kind of flat, in my opinion. Like this is the most understanding planet I've ever seen in my life. Like every single person, every single country, turn your electricity off at the exact same time. Like I know this is a comic book movie, turn your brain off. It's not a big deal at all. I'm not docking points from this movie because of that, but that definitely made me laugh. Also, something else that really stood out, it was a couple of times where the CGI was really bad. Like, I thought I saw behind the scenes footage where they were shooting on location. So I don't know if it's actual CGI in some points, like green screen, or if it's just the way they shot, but sometimes the background looked really weird. And then I thought I was tripping, but that CGI baby looked terrible in a lot of scenes, especially the scenes where like Ben was holding the baby. It just looked terrible. And like, I get it, because you can't have a child do the exact actions that you want them to do because it is a baby, but damn, it looked bad. And I can't believe I'm saying this, because again, I never really cared about the Fantastic Four as individual characters, but in this movie, I actually wanted to see more of them, and it's kind of hard to split time up between 4 characters, especially when you have a runtime under 2 hours. Like, I feel like we kind of got breadcrumbs of each character, kind of learning their ticks and kind of getting a little bit of depth with these characters. Like in this movie, like Ben's love interest, I wanted to see kind of more of that. I wanted more of Ben or the Thing in general. But like in the older movie, don't get me wrong, this movie sucked, but the scene of Ben trying to pick up the ring and he couldn't because of his fingers and stuff like that, that type of scene really hit hard. Like in this movie, with what we got from Ben and his love interest, I don't really care at this point. I'm sure it's going to develop down the road, but I wanted actually more screen time between each of the 4 characters and just getting more background on them. And again, I wanted more background on Silver Surfer and Galactus, but again, this is under 2 hours. I guess in that case, the movie would have needed to be 3 hours. But even with all that, this is still a really great movie, and like I said, I feel like I'm kind of nitpicking some stuff, but this was a great movie. As of this recording on Rotten Tomatoes, Fantastic Four: First Steps has a critics rating of 87% and a fan rating of 93%. I'm kind of right there in the mix with them. I'm going to give this movie a 8, which is a great on my scale. When I was leaving the theater last night, I was talking to my friends, and I feel like I liked in the moment Thunderbolts more than this. But the more that I think about it, I've had time to sleep on it and really think about this movie, I feel like I like Fantastic Four more than Thunderbolts, but I like Superman more than Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. Don't know if that's a hot take. The acting was great, the world was beautiful, and I forgot to mention this, but Reed Richards' powers actually didn't look lame. It would have been nice to have some more moments with Silver Surfer and Galactus, but I get it. When it comes to the baby in general, I didn't really like him being such a key point to this movie, but I get it. The baby is going to be this very powerful character. I fully understand it. This movie just didn't go at all how I thought it was going to go. Like, I believe like the internet theories, because to me it just made the most sense. I thought Galactus was going to basically destroy this planet. I thought the Fantastic Four was going to get whooped, they was going to get beaten, and then they were going to escape on their rocket ship, especially with the way that the Thunderbolts post-credit scene was when the Fantastic Four ship was seen at the very end of the movie. I thought that was going to be them running away, but I'm assuming that the kid is going to be the driving force in the next Avengers movie, because the post-credit scene we got to see our first glimpse of, I don't think it was Robert Downey Jr., but we got our first glimpse of Doctor Doom. So now the way that my brain processes, I'm assuming that Doctor Doom is going to he's going to kidnap the child, and then the Fantastic Four is going to follow Doctor Doom, and somehow all the characters are going to get mixed up. That's just what I'm thinking. But honestly, I'm not even really that excited for this new Avengers movie. It feels kind of like a mess, because I keep seeing reports that they're not even done writing the script yet, and some of the actors don't know exactly what they're doing. Like, this does not feel at all how like Infinity War and Endgame felt, but we gonna wait and see. Like, it comes out next year. Like, that's what I'm confused about, because Spider-Man comes out. Spider-Man is going to be a more grounded, smaller story. At least that's what the reports are saying. So I don't see how the Fantastic Four really contributes to that. And they were just going to get smacked with Avengers in December, but we gotta wait and see. But thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new here. We talk about a bunch of different things on this channel. What are your thoughts on this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Is the MCU back? And are you excited for the new Avengers movie? What are your thoughts on what they're going to do with Doctor Doom? I have no idea where they're going. We just gonna have to wait and see. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Love you guys as always. Remember to tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, see you in the next life.